Located in southeastern Iowa, the city of Ottumwa grew as an industrial and coal mining hub in the mid-1800s. The city began to grow in the 1930s, and post-World War II saw that growth accelerate as the housing boom across the country also hit Ottumwa, which had around 20,000 residents at the turn of the century, now peaking at nearly 34,000 post-war. By the 1960s, that growth had hit a standstill and began to dip over the following decades, as like elsewhere, the manufacturing industry fell out, with Ottumwa remaining around 25,000 residents since the 1990s. It was that decade that saw the city get their very first enclosed shopping center. Previously, urban renewal attempts had turned a section of 4 blocks in downtown into a pedestrian mall, which was never successful. And by the mid-1980s, the city had begun looking into adding an enclosed shopping center. After years of false starts, by 1989, the pedestrian mall was converted back into open streets, and all eyes were looking towards the grand opening of the Quincy Place Mall outside of town, a 3-acre, 2,700,000 square foot shopping mall, which would open April 1990.
If you know Ruin Road, you know we value our privacy. But in our personal life, it's not always easy to maintain. Whether we know it or not, sites will mine our data like full name, email, health records, and more, which they will sell to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who wants to snoop. That's why we started using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows us which data brokers are selling our personal information and automatically submits opt-out requests on our behalf. This not only reduces the amount of spam you'll get, but protects against hackers who can use this information to gain access to our social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. Aura also provides a ton of other features bundled into one easy-to-use app at an affordable price. You get antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more without needing to bother with different apps. We all have one or more of these tools already, but not having Aura is like locking the front door and leaving the back door wide open. And if you're a regular viewer, you'll know how often that happens. Like 24-hour security, motion sensors, and guard dogs, Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping my info safe so I can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. Relaxing. Ruin Road values our privacy, and we also value yours. Go to aura.com/ruinroad to start a free 2-week trial, also linked below in the description.
The history of the Ottumwa Mall dates back to the mid-1980s, when the opening of nearby Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa spurred city leaders to set aside $2 million for a planned $12 million mall in downtown Ottumwa. 2 separate developers would pull out of the project over the following years, failing to secure any anchor stores for the project. But by 1989, the planned mall had instead relocated just across the river from downtown and just off the highway, now securing JCPenney relocating from downtown, a Walmart, and the state's first Herberger's department store. If any fanfare was held for the opening of this mall, I could not find it. But it was noted as being an immediate success, and in the following months, more stores chose to relocate from downtown to Quincy Place, which was being touted as one of the indicators that the city was turning a new leaf from the dire 1980s. Residents had approved a $3.5 million recreational water park. Grants were secured to tear down the abandoned John Morrow meatpacking plant, and a long-stalled strip mall plaza was also nearing completion. While the city announced they had hoped the mall could help revitalize their downtown, when it had not, they still stated they were just as happy that the mall was drawing in shoppers. Perhaps the two most famous of those new customers were Ottumwa native Tom Arnold and his new wife, Roseanne Barr. The pair had moved back to Ottumwa following their marriage in 1990, planning on building a mansion nearby and purchasing the Canteen Restaurant, a small diner they based the diner in the Roseanne television show off of. They also planned to open a restaurant nearby this mall. But as the show's success grew, the Arnolds were forced to move back to Hollywood in 1992, only returning to visit relatives. But while here, they were said to be seen at the mall about once a month going shopping. It's possible that the pair were among the local celebrities who took part in the annual cookie eating contest, held at Quincy Place Mall and other Iowa malls to kick off the Girl Scout cookie sales each year. An annual comic and sports card show would be held at the mall from its beginning, and for the 1991 American Education Week, 125 local employees signed up to be a teacher for a day, holding class on the stage inside the mall where children of all ages could attend. When a flash flood hit the region summer 1992, water reached over a foot deep in some areas around the mall, causing cars to stall and forcing one driver to climb onto their roof for safety. The mall continued as a popular destination throughout the 90s, hosting various shows or conventions, and in 1999, as part of a 5-day tour across Iowa, former presidential advisor and political commentator Pat Buchanan stopped at Quincy Place as part of his tour speaking out against presidential-elect George Bush Jr., as Buchanan had long opposed George Bush Sr.'s presidency, later choosing to run for president himself the following year. The new millennium would not be kind to the mall, first losing Walmart in 2003 when they chose to open a standalone superstore a mile further west out of town, as more big box stores had sprung up along the highway corridor in the decades since the mall's opening. Their anchor would be split into a Dollar Tree and Goodies department store, which did not last long as the impending economic recession saw many more stores vacate the mall. In 2012, New Jersey-based Lexington Realty purchased the mall and announced plans for its revitalization. True to their word, they set about bringing in new replacements. MC Sports would take the Goodies store, while Bubba Q's Barbecue took over the Diamond Dave's restaurant.
I think this goes right along with where Ottumwa's going. I think it's just right in parallel, and I think it's really an indication of what Ottumwa is and where we're going.
For years, the facility has seen tenants come and go, but that is all about to change. In the past few months, Lexington Realty International took over the management of the facility. Lexington currently oversees shopping centers throughout the Midwest, turning them from what you see now into thriving shopping centers. The new management group wants to make the Quincy Place Mall a family destination, welcoming them from all over the region.
If you're a family destination, everybody comes. And if everybody comes, we're all there together, and the children are shopping, and the husbands are shopping, the wives are shopping, everyone's there to shop. What ends up happening is it's actually the nerve center of the entire mall is when it becomes a family destination.
And for those who haven't been back to the mall in a while, Rhett Quincy had one message.
I'd like to thank the Ottumwa community for welcoming us, and I would like to go ahead and let everybody know come back to the mall. Great things are happening.
Yet again, the rise of online shopping took its toll, and JCPenney would close in 2017 after operating in the city for 101 years. Lexington sold the mall to Cedar Rapids Development Group that year, and when Herberger's closed the following year, they announced they were looking at bringing in non-traditional tenants for the now less than 50% occupied mall. By 2019, they had succeeded in drawing in several niche entertainment options, such as the T-Rex mini golf, an old-school arcade, and MJ's Dragon Den, as well as hosting the annual Galaxies of Gaming convention inside the mall. As of 2025, the revitalization of Quincy Place Mall remains a pressing issue for both the city and its residents. Despite continued pressure from Ottumwa leaders to make necessary repairs and bring new life to the space, the mall remains largely dormant during the weekdays, with many of its entertainment-focused stores only open on weekends. The former Herberger's lot now serves as overflow parking for a car dealership, while the old Walmart is still fully occupied by the long-standing Dollar Tree, Harbor Freight, and Dunham's, which took over the former NC Sports location. While the mall owners have agreed to make some repairs, Ottumwa's mayor has expressed concerns that they are not eager to collaborate with the city on a broader revitalization plan. The lack of this cohesive vision between the property owners and local government has made progress slow, leaving the community uncertain about the future of their mall. But all is not lost for this beautiful shopping center. Unlike many other dead malls where city leaders would rather demolish it for the trendy mixed-use open-air retail, Ottumwa seems content to revitalize the mall as it stands. It may be a long road ahead for that redevelopment, but hopefully, one day, Quincy Place Mall can begin a new chapter as a community hub for Ottumwa once more.